जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की जय, निताय चैतन्य की जय, परशुराम भगवान की जय, वामन देव की जय, गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna everyone. So welcome all of you to this class. Today we have a very important verse from chapter number 15. This chapter number 15 is also very important. It's also called as the Purushottama Yoga. And in this chapter, we have the 19th verse, which goes like this. Yo mam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. So here Lord Shri Krishna is giving the knowledge about himself. So what is the identity of Lord Shri Krishna? It's always been a very mystery. Who is God? There are many cultures in the world which accept God, acknowledge God, understand that God is all pervasive, all cognizant, but they do not know what is the personal form of God. If you ask them who is God, they won't be able to say that. In this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Bhagavan, Krishna, himself is saying, he's saying, whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the knower of everything. That too he says, Yomam evam asammudho. The word asammudho has been used here. That means without doubting. So there should not be any doubt, any kind of a doubt for us whether Krishna is the God or maybe there is someone else. There should not be any kind of doubt. That's why Krishna says, anyone who knows that, who knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting. So what is the qualification of such a person? What is the qualification of a person who knows that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Sasarvavit. Sasarvavit means he is the knower of everything. Knower of everything. Because the Vedic mantra says, Yasmin Vijnate Sarvamevam Vijnatam Bhavatu. If you simply understand him, you understand everything. If you simply understand this fact, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we understand everything in this universe. How do we understand this statement? If we understand that this cosmic world has its origin in Krishna, and that all the living entities are parts and parcel of Krishna, and the illusory energy which is trapping these living entities within this material world is his external energy. If we understand this much, then what else is remaining to be known? We understand Krishna's position very clearly. So anybody who knows this point, he is the knower of everything. So once you know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is it that we are supposed to do? Very simple. Bhajati mam sarva bhavena. That means, as soon as we get to know that Krishna is the supreme controller, he is behind everything in the world. Even a blade of grass does not move without Krishna's permission. All the planets are in the orbit for the fear of Krishna. Sun is rising daily for the fear of Krishna. The water is liquid because of Krishna, and there is heat that is coming from the fire, that is because of Krishna. And if there is a splendor or light coming from the sun and the moon, that is because of Krishna. So whatever natural elements are there, they are coming on time for the fear of Krishna. You see, this thing that we have to understand. We have to understand who is God. That is the first step. Once you understand who is God, the second step is we have to serve him. That is the simplest philosophy, that is Krishna consciousness. This is the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. It is very, very crystal clear. There is no scope for speculation. There is no scope of making any kind of indirect meaning. There is no necessity also. It is straightforward, direct, and clear. And Lord Krishna substantiates his claims with his pastimes by showing that he is indeed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is not subject to any kind of laws of material nature. You see, any living entity in this material world has to undergo 6 transformations. Being born, grows, stays for some time, makes some side effects, and then slowly starts to decay or shrink and then dies. These are the 6 transformations. But Krishna does not go through these 6 transformations. But Krishna, he keeps coming to this world. Sambhavami yuge yuge. But that coming and our coming to this world is very different. Krishna coming to this world is his mission. Me coming to this world is not my mission. It is not because of my mission that I got born. I was born in this material world because of my karma. And I am getting certain parents, certain kind of things, certain kind of house, some relationships based on my past karmic reactions. It's all the past karmic calculations. Based on that, we get our family. We get our house, family, house, children. All of this are decided based on our previous karmic debts. But Krishna is not like that. He is Swarat, Abhigya Swarat. Abhigya Swarat means he is completely independent. That means he can come whenever he wants. He can leave whenever he wants. He can break any kind of rule. So whatever he wants, he can do. But it does not mean that he comes and does some whimsical actions. He comes with a calculated plan. he has got a mission. And when Krishna plans, there's a difference. When we plan, our plans, we all know very well, they may be executed, they may not be executed. But if Krishna makes a plan, there is no way that it is not going to be executed. The only reason why Krishna's plan may fail, apparently, is because he wants that plan to fail. So just like how Krishna goes as a peace ambassador to the Kauravas to negotiate peace. But then Yudhishthir Maharaj, Duryodhana, they reject Krishna's appeal. And that is because that is also the plan of Krishna. So Krishna wants it that way because he has got his mission to clear the burden of the earth. At the time of the juncture between Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga, Krishna made all of this plan work the way he wants it to be done. So he always gets things done the way he wants it. So if he decides to kill someone, there is nobody who can protect him. If he decides to protect someone, there is nobody who can kill him. You see? So this is a very important verse which speaks that Krishna is indeed Purushottamam, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it is very important for us to acknowledge that. Because the moment we acknowledge, we become Sarvavit. Sarvavit means you have understood everything. There is nothing else that is remaining to be known. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Oh Arjuna, if you understand what I'm saying, there is no other knowledge that is remaining to be known. This Bhagavad Gita has been spoken 5,000 years ago to Arjuna. And it is the summary, essence of all the Upanishads of the Vedas. Sarvopanishato gavo dogda gopala nandanaha. That means if all the Upanishads are a cow, the milkman is Krishna and the calf is Arjuna. And the milk that has come, this is Bhagavad Gita. It is for all those intelligent devotees who are ready to take this nectar. That is the milk that is coming from Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita also called as Gita Upanishad. That means it's a summary of all the Upanishads. Upanishads are the philosophical and very technical literature of the Vedas, which speak about the absolute truth. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying such an assertive statement here that if you know him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you know everything. You see, there are so many philosophical speculations about the constitutional position of the living entity and the supreme absolute truth. So we have multiple theories, right? The living entities are same as the supreme absolute truth. Atma is same as Paramatma. So let us say, even if we take that for a case, for a moment, that Atma is same as Paramatma, then why do we have two names in the first place? Simple logic. Atma, Param Atma. Param means above the Atma. The name itself is indicating that it is above. Param means above. There is Atma, which is the controller of the body. So this is the Ishvara of my body. Atma is the Ishvara of my body. But that is not all in all. There is Paramatma, the super soul, the super knower, super consciousness. Atma means consciousness. Paramatma means super consciousness. That super consciousness is Krishna. So this we have to know. So those who do not understand this point, that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, they continuously speculate about the absolute truth. So they spend their whole lifetime, and if you go and ask them, they're not able to answer it. See, there was an incident that happened in Srirangam. There used to be the successor of Ramanujacharya. Okay. Once he was there, and then what happened is there was a great scholar who had come there. And everybody was going to the scholar and saying, wow, such a great scholar, right? But Ramanujacharya's successor, he was not very much interested. That is the Pitadipati of that Matha. He said, I don't want to meet him. But then the disciples asked, why do you not want to meet him? Then I will demonstrate it to you why I don't want to meet him. So then that great scholar came to take darshan of the Lord. At that time, this gentleman asked him, Paratattva nama kim? Can you tell me what is the absolute truth? And the other person, he thinks for a while and he says, the absolute truth, it's not so easy for me to define. Okay, it's a big topic. I have to talk for a long time. It's very complex. The absolute truth, it's not possible to describe who it is. Like that, he went on for 15 minutes and he left. And then there was one devotee who used to every day come to take darshan. He was an illiterate person. And right in front of his disciples, this Pitadipati asked the devotee, Paratattva nama kim? Can you tell me what is the absolute truth? Then that illiterate devotee became very angry. He said, how dare you ask this question right in front of the Lord? Right in front of you is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you are asking me who is the absolute truth. Don't you know that? That he is the absolute truth. Then the disciples understood what his guru was speaking about. So a person who does not have proper knowledge of Krishna, he will go on speculating for the end of life different kinds of theories. You know what is this kind of speculation called? It's called beating the empty husk. You know what is husk? Husk is the outer cover of the rice. So when you get a lot of husk, okay, let's say I give you a lot of husk. It's just husk. If you beat that, are you going to get rice? What do you think? Or let us say, instead of giving you rice, I will give you 10 kilos of husk. I will say, please cook and eat. Can you get the same satisfaction of eating one handful of rice? If you eat even 10 kilos of husk, please tell me. So this is the difference between Krishna consciousness and the other speculative methods. So therefore, there is no use in beating empty husk. We get nothing out of it. There is no use in cooking husk and eating it. Such husk is only meant for the cattle. It's not meant for human beings. Human beings are intelligent and we need the essence. The sum and substance essence is given right here in Bhagavad Gita in very, very simple words. But the problem is the stubborn living entities, stubborn philosophers, They do not want to accept and they want to simply misguide others. So these stubborn commentators, they keep on speculating. They write hundreds of commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. And they'll keep on speculating. Pandavas are not Pandavas. Pandavas are five senses. Krishna is not Krishna. Arjuna is not Arjuna. They keep on speculating this kind of thing, which is nowhere written in the Shastra. They cannot understand something straight. They have a problem with that. The thing is, the Vedic knowledge is called Shruti. Shruti means hearing. And it is like hearing from the authority. And when an authority says it, we must accept it. That is why it's called Shastra. Shastra means there is the dhatu is shash dhatu. Shash means to rule. Shastra, Shastra means Shastra dictates. That if Shastra is saying, that means it is the final word. That's it. Krishna has said it, supreme absolute truth. If he is saying, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. He's saying that he is the source of all the material worlds and the spiritual worlds. And a person who understands is Buddha, means intelligent. That is Krishna's version. So when Shruti says it, when the Supreme Lord says it, it is like a dictation. It is an assertion. There is no contest. There is no question of debate. That's final. So that's why it's called Veda. That's why it's called Shastra. So we have to accept it as it is. If you accept it as it is, you will save a lot of time. For example, if the teacher is teaching A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z, if you ask, why should A come first? Why should Z come last? So if you ask that question, and if you can ask that question, and if you can keep speculating, but you'll never learn A to Z alphabet. Correct? So we want to save time. So that's why Krishna says Buddha. Devotees are intelligent. Devotees are very intelligent because they directly accept the authority. Whatever the Acharya has said, the version of Bhagavad Gita, we accept it. So simply we have to accept. So here, Prabhupada is writing in the purport, simply to hear like hogs is not sufficient. One must be able to understand from the authorities. It is not that one should simply speculate academically. It's not that, it's not that I'm going to start a research paper on it and I'll start some word jugglery now. So you see, this word jugglery is very powerful tool. You can keep on juggling words, but you'll never get to the main point. Like beating that empty husk. But simply, if it just comes straight to the point, okay, Bhagavan, God, Supreme God, Krishna, Bhagavad Gita, Song of God, Krishna's message, worship me. That's it, finished. Uddhava asked Krishna, what is the topmost profit a human being can get? What is the topmost profit a human being can achieve? Just think about it. What is it? What can it be? Is it to be born in a very nice family? Is it to be born to be very beautiful? Or is it to be born as a celebrity? Is that the highest profit? Maybe it is. That's how we think, right? Is it to win a lottery? Is it to inherit a big inheritance? Is it to become very rich, very big in life? What is it? What is the highest profit in life? Okay. Is it to become very religious and to be known as a very religious person? Is that perfection? What is it? Okay, is it to lose our identity and merge into the absolute truth? What is the absolute, what is the best profit? Krishna said to Uddhava, the highest profit for any human, any living entity is to attain my devotional service. Did you understand that? The highest profit is to know or to become a devotee of Krishna. And that's what Krishna said to Uddhava. Nowhere in the Vedas it has been given like that. Okay? And there's a beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that I want to recite. It says, Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makhaha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriyaha, Vasudeva param Jnanam, Vasudeva param Tapaha, Vasudeva paro dharmo, Vasudeva paragatihi. The translation you see here, the word Vasudeva and para is repeating. Okay, there are 8 lines. Vasudeva para has repeated 8 times. Vasudeva means Krishna. Para means superior or topmost, superlative degree. Vasudeva para Veda, which means the ultimate object of knowledge in the Vedas is Krishna. Vasudeva para Makha, that means the purpose of performing fire sacrifices in the Sanatana Dharma is to please Krishna. Vasudeva para Yoga, the yoga, this process of yoga is meant for realizing Krishna. Vasudeva para Kriyaha, all the karmakanda rituals that we do as a part of our religion, they are all ultimately this kind of activities, whatever result that we get, are rewarded by him. Vasudeva param jnanam, that means the knowledge of Krishna is the supreme knowledge. Vasudeva param tapaha, all the severe austerities that are performed to know Krishna. Vasudeva paro dharmo, that means the topmost religion. What is the topmost religion? Is to render loving devotional service unto him. That is Vasudeva paro dharmo. Vasudeva paragatihi, he is the supreme goal of life. Such a beautiful verse summarizing the supremacy of Lord Shri Krishna. It is really very special to accept Krishna as the supreme. It is not a sectarian attitude. People accuse and say, you are being sectarian. If I'm going to accept the prime minister as prime minister, is that sectarian? So for example, there was a CEO. He came out and somebody asked him, okay, sir, what is your position here? Then he said, no, I am the peon here. Why would he say that I am the peon? He will say, I am the boss. So if Krishna is saying, I am the boss, he is saying that because he is the boss. It's as simple as that. What is the doubt in it? So all the spiritual processes which are there in the Vedas, they are culminating in this point. If we want to save time and make progress, we can simply accept the fact right here, digest it, and start devotional service of Krishna. The second choice is continue the philosophical speculation. Then what will happen? Bahunam janmanam ante. Many lifetimes will pass. Jnanavan mam prapadyate. Then what would happen? After many lifetimes of speculation, what is the absolute truth? You know what is the conclusion of the speculators? Vasudeva sarvamiti. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So after many lifetimes, Bahunam janmanam ante. Why do we want to lose so many lifetimes? There's no need for us to lose time. We can simply accept the authority, try to understand Bhagavad Gita. We don't need to understand it blindly. Every day we can read it. This is how Srila Prabhupada said, okay? Whatever doubts you have, get it cleared. It can be any doubt, get it cleared. Ask someone or you read it yourself. Take Bhagavad Gita book, read it repeatedly. Everything becomes crystal clear. Go chapter after chapter after chapter after chapter. After a few iterations, it becomes crystal clear to you what is the message that Krishna is trying to give. You see, for every communication, there is a message. For example, if there is a news article, which is a one-page article, there are so many words in it, but what is the final message? Correct? There is a central message. Similarly, there may be some advertisement or there may be some kind of a brand which is giving a lot of communication. And from that advertisement, what is the message that's being sent? You see what I'm saying? What is the central message? Figure it out. What is the central message of Bhagavad Gita? You don't need to take me for granted. You read it for yourself. You read it for yourself and try to find out and come to a conclusion, positive conclusion after multiple iterations, and tell me what is Bhagavad Gita in one line. If I have to ask you, can you summarize Bhagavad Gita in one line? What is the message that Krishna is repeatedly saying, strongly emphasizing? What is that single point? Prabhupada was asked once, what is the message of Bhagavad Gita? So would you like to hear that? In Prabhupada style. So we all know Prabhupada style, right? So, but in Prabhupada style, are you ready for that? Okay. So, Prabhupada style, he said, Krishna's message for you is, you rascal, you surrender to me. You have forgotten Krishna. That's the message of Bhagavad Gita. So that is in Prabhupada style. Okay. Prabhupada always has his style, right, of saying. So that's the saying. He's saying, you rascal, you have forgotten Krishna and you are suffering. Surrender to me. This is the message. Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes. Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna. Let me just unmute you. Just give me a second. Yes, Hare Krishna. If anybody has any questions or any points that you want to add, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Would
Krishna.
you give me that Bhagavatam sloka number?
Sure. I'll just give you
Canto.
Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, 28, 29. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.